let's talk about something that drives a lot of IT teams completely crazy: the daily manual grind of system health reporting. We're going to dive into how automation, specifically using ZAPTEST RPA, can be a total game changer here.
So let me just ask you this, especially if you're in IT ops. Does this question feel a little familiar? Are you and your team spending more time just building reports than you are actually using the information in them?
Because, for so many people, the day-to-day looks exactly like this. It's this never-ending cycle, right? You're grabbing logs from here, pulling metrics from there, fighting with spreadsheets to make it all line up, and then you're sending out the updates one by one. It's tedious, it's repetitive, and honestly, it's a huge time sink.
And this whole process, it's more than just a bunch of annoying tasks. It's a true bottleneck. It literally slows down the flow of critical information and stops your team from focusing on work that actually matters.
And look, we're not talking about a few minutes here and there. This can eat up hours of a skilled person's day every single day. Think about that. That's talent, that's payroll being spent on what is essentially copy and paste instead of on innovation or solving real problems.
But the cost isn't just about time. When you have humans doing the same repetitive task over and over again, you introduce a much bigger, much scarier problem: the risk of human error. And those little mistakes can have some pretty big consequences.
And you can see how this all snowballs, right? A simple copy-paste mistake leads to a report that's not quite right. That inconsistency might just be the thing that hides a critical system issue. And then, when the auditors show up, well, those manual reports, they just don't hold up very well.
Okay, so that's the bad news. The good news is it absolutely does not have to be this way. This manual grind is not your only option. There is a much, much better way to handle this.
And that better way is something called robotic process automation, or RPA. Specifically, we're talking about a tool built for this: ZAPTEST. This is where we stop talking about the problem and start looking at the real solution.
So what exactly is ZAPTEST? Well, here's the most important thing to get. It's not about throwing out your current systems. It automates the process you already have. It literally watches how you gather the data, and then it builds a software robot to do that exact same job for you, from beginning to end.
So that sounds pretty cool in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? How does ZAPTEST really change this workflow?
I mean, the difference is just it's night and day. The stuff that took your team hours of manual, frustrating, error-prone work, ZAPTEST now does it automatically in minutes. And the result is faster, perfectly consistent, and standardized every single time.
And the process itself is just brilliant. First, ZAPTEST simply records the manual steps your team is already taking. Then, its software robot takes over, automatically grabbing all that data from wherever it lives. Next, and this is huge, it brings it all together and flags anything that looks out of place. And finally, it builds and sends out a perfect audit-ready report on any schedule you want.
Look, this is about more than just making one task go faster. It's about the real, measurable impact this has on the business itself. The most dramatic result, hands down, is the insane reduction in time. We are talking about going from hours of work down to just minutes. That's not just an improvement, that's a complete transformation of your IT team's capacity.
And all that time you save, it creates this incredible ripple effect. You get data faster, so you spot problems sooner. You can respond to incidents way quicker. Human error basically disappears, which means your audit trail is rock solid. And maybe the best part, you can monitor more and more systems without having to hire more and more people. That's what true scalability looks like.
There's a sentence from the source material that just nails it. The goal here is to create an automated pipeline, one that doesn't just get rid of a headache, but one that actually makes your company stronger by giving you better visibility and making you more resilient.
So if you take one thing away from this, it's this: automating these routine reports isn't just about fixing a slow process. It's about freeing up your people to innovate. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Think about all those hours your smartest people are spending just building reports. What could they really accomplish? What could they build if all of that time was suddenly given back to them? That's the real power of this.